Hi folks, Steve from Martell Training Group. I just wanted to talk today a little bit about these gun-free zones or sensitive areas that we're hearing a lot in the news lately. And this comes from the politicians that have a gun control agenda, in my opinion. So I have to start off by talking about the NYSRPA versus Bruen case in New York. It's a U.S. Supreme Court case that was recently decided, which is a win for responsible gun owners in New York and in New Jersey who want to exercise their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms in public for self-protection and to protect their families. So this decision by Justice Thomas, he ruled that New York's proper cause requirement for getting a permit to carry in New York was unconstitutional. That prompted New Jersey to remove their justifiable need requirement, which is the same as the proper cause in New York. You have to show a good reason why you want a permit to carry a handgun in New Jersey, and that was the same in New York. So in New Jersey, I have to tell you, as a former unit head of the State Police Firearms Investigation Unit, most permits to carry, civilian permits to carry issued in New Jersey have been traditionally for work purposes. So armored car employee, security officer, armed security officer, you needed a firearm for work. The company would submit a justifiable need letter saying John Doe needs a firearm to work for our company, ABC, to do his or her job. And the judge would most likely issue the permit to carry with the restriction that it's only valid while working for this particular company. So it was very difficult to get a permit to carry in New Jersey before this decision. In fact, nearly impossible. You had to show a justifiable need, a specific threat or unique reason why you thought you needed a permit to carry. You couldn't just say, I want to protect myself and my family. I live in a bad neighborhood. You couldn't say that. That wasn't good enough. It had to be a specific threat leveled against you. And a lot of times they were still denied. So this decision was a win for responsible gun owners that want to carry handguns for protection. So this decision prompted, they had no choice. New Jersey had to, New Jersey Attorney General immediately released a directive, and I'll put a link to the directive in the description, to all the police departments in New Jersey saying we cannot require the justifiable need for the permit to carry application anymore. However, don't forget, you can still deny them for other reasons, and they listed by statute the reasons for denying someone for a permit to carry in New Jersey. They immediately got to work to try to decide, in my opinion, how are they going to circumvent the U.S. Supreme Court decision. The highest court in the land has ruled that this requirement is unconstitutional, and they want to circumvent it because they have a gun control agenda. So they immediately created these gun-free, or talk about creating these gun-free zones, these sensitive areas. And Justice Thomas, in his decision, if you read the Bruen case, it's a long decision. If you read it, I'll put a link to it. He spelled out in there that you can't do that, and he knew what New York was going to do. He knew they were going to try to restrict an entire city, and he specifically put in there, you can't just restrict like the island of Manhattan, for example. You can't do it. So New York, in turn, says, well, we're going to say subways, Times Square, parks. We're going to list all these places where most people would want to carry for protection. You know, all the places you can get mugged, shot, stabbed, beat up. These are all the places that the politicians are saying, well, if you're a lawful, responsible gun owner, we don't want you to carry in these places. The criminals can carry wherever they want because they always do anyway. They don't care about the law. But the responsible gun owners that go through the process, that pay the fees, that get the background checks, no, we want to restrict you. You're going to be our focus. So New York and New Jersey have done this. I'm sure other states have done this as well. So Governor Murphy has already had a press conference to say we're going to create all these zones. So basically what they're doing is, in my opinion, they want to make it virtually useless. So they're going to say, well, and I saw one redacted permit to carry that was issued by a court in New Jersey, and it had 12 things listed, 12 places you couldn't carry. So the first one was schools and educational institutions. I have no idea why. I would think that with active shooters around, you would want more good guys with guns, but that was the first on the list. One of the most absurd locations, restriction on this permit to carry that I saw was your vehicle. The judge put on there that this permit was not valid while driving in your vehicle with the firearm. So you had to carry, they had to carry it according to state law, which is unloaded, ammunition separate from the firearm secured, not readily accessible to the driver. So here's a news flash. That's for when you don't have a permit to carry. That's how you carry it in your vehicle when you're not authorized to carry it on your person loaded. So this judge is saying, well, I don't want you to carry it in your car. Why? What's the justification? I don't even know if that's legal, but the judge did it. The judge put that as a restriction for this permit holder, that, hey, it's not going to be valid when you're in your car. That's an overreach, in my opinion. It's a way overreach. That's where you would want to carry it, right? Have it available in case you need it. With all the road rage, somebody stops in front of you, somebody wants to carjack you, so you can't have your firearm loaded on your person in your car. That's absurd to me. The gun control agenda politicians are trying to make it so difficult that you're not even going to bother. You're going to say, well, I can't carry in all these places. Where can I carry? Maybe one or two places that there aren't many people around, right? So there's really no threat. So there's really no reason to carry a firearm, right? So they're going to make it like, well, what's the point? Why bother? In addition, I also think they want to scare people. They want to scare you into thinking, well, if there are all these restrictions, where can I carry? Where can I not carry? People are going to be worried that, what if I'm carrying my firearm and I happen to wander into one of these gun-free zones or sensitive areas and I don't even realize it. And then I encounter the police and I tell them, because I'm supposed to let them know, hey, I am carrying a firearm if they ask, right? If you're carrying any weapons. Well, you can't lie and say, no, I'm not. So people are going to worry that, what if I end up in one of these gun-free zones inadvertently? Now I'm going to be charged, because basically the judge has said, well, the permit's not valid in these 12 areas. So if you're in one of these areas, it's like you're carrying a loaded gun without a permit. So it's going to scare people. I'm sure it already has. So that's the point. The politicians want you to be scared, and they want you to worry, and they want you to say, well, I'm not going to bother. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because I don't want to get arrested. And I think there are going to be lawsuits, and I think there's going to be more court decisions, and the Superior Court judges in New Jersey and in New York are going to be told, you can't do this. You can't circumvent the U.S. Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, by making your own rules. You can't say, well, we don't like your decision, Supreme Court, rather. We're going to make our own rules to make it virtually useless for you to get a permit to carry, because you're not going to be able to use it anywhere if you get it. So we'll issue it because we don't have any choice. The Supreme Court has told us, if you qualify, if you're not disqualified, basically the Supreme Court has said, Justice Thomas in his decision has said, if you are not disqualified from having a firearm, if you haven't committed any crimes, if you don't have any history of involuntary commitment, for example, or mental health incidences that would preclude you from owning or possessing a firearm, if you meet all these qualifications that we've established as a society, then you have to be issued the permit to carry, or you have to be allowed to exercise your Second Amendment for protection and carry a firearm. So what the politicians with the gun control agenda have said is, we don't agree with that, and we're going to just create our own rules to make it virtually useless permit to carry. If we have to issue it to you law-abiding, responsible gun owners, then we're going to make it so it's not worth it to go through the process. That's how I feel about it. So I think the more people that apply, if you're qualified and you want to exercise your Second Amendment right to carry a firearm to protect yourself and your family, then I urge you to apply in New Jersey. You can watch my video. I posted a video on the process of applying for a permit to carry in New Jersey. If you want some help, if you want a step-by-step instructional guide, you can watch my video. If you're interested and you want to exercise your Second Amendment right and you're not disqualified from otherwise owning or possessing a firearm, I think everyone should apply. And the more permits to carry that are issued with these absurd, ridiculous restrictions, I think the better off, the quicker resolution to this process will occur, with either through lawsuits and or more court decisions. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it. Also consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe.